afternoon from Morvern, which is on Loch Linney, on the other side from Fort William. I am standing at the loch side and it's staggeringly beautiful. It's a late start today because I'm going to be camping overnight up in these hills here. I drove up this morning, and I've just come over on the Corran ferry, which is just over there. It's just a 5-minute ferry. I have to say, now that I'm actually stood here with a bit of time to kill, I'm almost tempted to camp down here, because all of this grassy stuff here, it would just be perfect. Because I mean, ask yourself, between hauling a big backpack with tent up there, up 2,500 feet or whatever it is, or just pitching a tent over here and having the waves lap at your feet. I've got a flask of whiskey, maybe get a fire going. It's a tough choice, isn't it? Even for me, an ardent hill walker who's looking forward to actually setting camp at great altitude and having views of the sunset and the sunrise and being able to see Mull and Jura and Colonsay and Skye and Rum and the Small Isles, all these things I'll be able to see, I know I will. But right now, still on this beach, I don't really want to start. Time for a cup of tea and some cake at the very least before I start heading up. All set, and that's where I'm headed, all the way up here. I'm going to go all the way along these hills here, and this is the highest one over here, Creek Fen, and I'm not sure where I'm going to camp, somewhere at the top, so you get these big expansive views as the sun's going down, and then tomorrow come down and end up here. Oh, this is a hell of a way to start. No messing about, no chance to stretch the legs. It's just up with a flipping great big weight on your back, like that. There's Primrose, from, is it the Latin or the Greek, I forget, Prima Rosa, first flower. It's always one of the first that you see in springtime. Certainly on the west coast of Scotland it always seems to be the first flower that you see in spring. It's about 2:30, which for me feels completely counterintuitive as a time to set off, not least because I'm a morning person really. I seem to have more energy in the mornings, so I'd sooner just get up and start up a hill. But also the sun's higher by this time, it's warmer, getting burnt. Yes, I'm still thinking maybe I'd be better off camping at a beachside today instead of hauling up this hill. And it is very warm. Beginning of April, and we're still in that cold spell that's been gripping us for the past God knows how long. But while it's been snowy in the east, all those east winds means that here on the west coast it's been bone dry, which is why we're seeing in the news all these things about wildfires just on the coast here. That's the first bee I've heard this year. Just off for a quick water break, and it's just occurred to me, with everything being as bone dry, tinderbox dry as it is, the chances of finding water up here are slim. So I haven't heard it. Usually the sound of water is something that accompanies you all the way up a Scottish hill, but I haven't heard anything. So I'm going to have to ration my water. Don't want to run out. Ah. Not the top, but a top. It's always nice to get to the top of something on the way to where you're going. Still got to go over this, and I'll probably camp on top of there in the middle. All the way out there, that's Ben Nevis, the highest one of all, and Glencoe's through that gap over there. There's always a down. There's an enormous dip you've got to go down just to get up there. It's never straightforward. You always have to go down again before you get up. That's actually why quite a few of my friends and family wouldn't come walking with me, because it was never a simple case of just picking a hill and walking up it and then walking down again. The walks I picked, there was always more like roller coasters, I suppose. Endless ups and downs. Going down's the last thing you want to do when you want to go up. Oh well, that's why I go by myself. Don't know exactly how high I am. I think I'm about a little over 2,000 feet. But I just saw a fox skirt around the side of this little knoll here. Clear as anything, bright red in the sunshine. Always never ceases to amaze me that you see them up here. Don't see them very often, and that's the first one I've seen in a good few years in an environment like this. You wouldn't think it, you know, you picture them as being urban things running around London and Birmingham and Glasgow and Edinburgh and places like that. It seems quite strange to think of them running around up here. So little to eat. Oh, this looks like the top of Morvern, which means there's one hill to go. Oh dearie me, it's hard work. Ooh. Well, still a long way to go. Still got to go all the way down there and up. At least that's quite gradual. But that'll be the last hill, and then I'll pitch the tent somewhere over there. Because there's a wildfire burning, all that over there, all that haze. I can hear more water. It seems to be faster flowing this time. I think I might have a better chance of finding some. Can't get at that one. Ah, bingo! Saved. Final stretch. Something very strange about today, and it's, well, good and bad. Good thing for me, how dry this is. Look at my boots, bone dry. That almost never happens. Going for walks in this kind of terrain, you'd usually be losing your boots in bogs. I haven't stepped in a single bog yet. I haven't heard a single squelch, which is very, very, very strange. But it's bad, I suppose, because it's so dry, and it does make it likely that wildfires will spread very quickly from when they start. But it does make for great walking. Oh dear me. It's one of the toughest wee hills I've done in a very long time. I don't know if it's just because I've not been wild camping with an enormous great big backpack in a while, but oh dearie me, it's a bit of an effort today. Very, very close to the top. Summit. Of course, the question now is where to camp. It's not supposed to get windy, so pretty much anywhere would be good, but it'd be nice to have a little bit of shelter from the east wind. I think this will do. Home sweet home. Of all the places I've camped, this ranks quite highly, I think, as one of the better ones, especially because I'm camped in the snow. But would you like to see out my window? How's that for a view? Oh, you can't beat it. Camping at the top of a mountain. There's something quite wonderful about just strolling around with your home on your back and having that freedom to just stop anywhere you like. If you see a nice patch, if you see a nice view, you can stop anywhere you want. I choose here. I don't actually go camping that often, a couple of times a year, because when I do go, I do prefer to do this. I do prefer to camp on the tops of mountains. That's just how I get my kicks when I go camping. I do go camping in glens and lower down in valleys and things, but I prefer to do this. But it's not often that you get the kind of weather that you can actually do this. It's not often that you can camp at the top of a Scottish hill and be confident that you're not going to be blown away during the night. I'm 90% confident that's not going to happen tonight. And I always like to try and be south or west facing, so I like to see the sun to go down during the evening, and it's nice to be close to the summit so that at dawn, when the sun rises, you can just nip up to the summit and get the view that way, when all those are probably going to go turning pink tomorrow morning. I'll set my alarm for that, so I'm not going to miss that. It's 7 o'clock, the sun's going down. I haven't had my dinner yet. I am getting quite hungry, but I'm finding it hard to tear myself away from all of this while I'm here. Seems silly to not enjoy it and enjoy the last warmth of the sun, because it's going to be cold once that disappears. What an amazing place. It's so quiet. Partly because there's no wind, of course, but also because just generally it's not visited much by people. It's not really on the tourist trail. People in the know, I suppose, go out to Ardnamurchan, which goes out towards there, but all of this land, all these rugged hills you can see west of Loch Linnhe, there's no Munros here, so that's one reason why it's a bit quieter, I imagine. And it takes quite a long time to get to, either by all the windy roads that work their way through all these glens, or taking the ferry across. But it's just stunning, and so quiet and so remote, and you feel completely away from all the honeypots over there. I mean, pretty much everything you can see with snow on. Ben Nevis, Glencoe, Benvironment, and in the distance you can see over to Benvironment and places like that. But all of those, I mean, those are the magnets. That's where people tend to head for, hill walkers anyway. If you're a hill walker, it's much easier just to pick off the ones on the mainland. This is the mainland, but it feels like it isn't. It feels much more remote than that. And tomorrow morning we'll head down there, down this dip, up over this bump, and then all the way back along the ridge. A nice easy descent back to the glen. It's nice to know that I've got the 3 big hills out of the way, all the hard stuff's out of the way, and tomorrow it will be almost pleasurable, I'm sure. Just an easy descent all the way down.